Andre Felix tells us how the PBA players came together for this cause. Andre.
Thank you, Pia. That's right. The death of George Floyd sparked protests across the United States over the weekend and has now spilled over here in the Philippines. Some of these PBA players that you mentioned, Pia, were born in the U.S. and played in the States before coming and moving here to the Philippines. Former Gilas Pilipinas team captain Gabe Norwood spearheaded this online protest demanding justice for George Floyd's death. We are now joined by Gabe Norwood of the Rain or Shine at Lasso Painters and Chris Ross of the San Miguel Beermen via Zoom. Hello, gentlemen. Good evening, Gabe. Good evening, Chris. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Jay. Thank you for having us.
Hope all is well, Gabe and Chris. Gabe and Chris, the message of you guys that you posted online was direct. It was so powerful. Could have been me. Hashtag justice for George Floyd. Hashtag justice for Floyd. Why this message in particular, Gabe?
I think it really fell into what we were trying to get across. No words spoken, and I think the words on the sign spoke for themselves. I think it could easily replace George Floyd's name with Gabe Norwood, with Chris Ross, and with many of the brothers that joined with us. So it was timely. I think it was appropriate, and luckily we all came to the conclusion that that's what we were going to do.
Mm-hmm. And like you were telling me earlier when we spoke, when I called you, you said the players didn't hesitate. They joined right away. They were on board right away. Chris Ross, you were on board right away when you heard the idea from Gabe. What was going through your head, Chris, when Gabe was discussing this idea with you, posting on social media?
For me, it was a no-brainer. Me and Gabe go back even before we came here, we had connections. So when Gabe hit me up and reached out and asked me to join, it was a no-brainer for me because it's just something that growing up in the States and being a person of color that I've been through personally. I've been through it. And it really hits close to home. Luckily, I still have life and I still have this platform to speak on it. Others aren't so lucky that come in contact with policemen that are not on the good side. But I've had life, and I've had time after that instance that I had with the police that I've been able to tell my story and to speak out for those that can't, and just to use my platform in a powerful way.
Gabe, you came up with the idea. How did you come up with this, and also talk with Joe, and then involving young players like CJ Perez, Chris Newsome?
Yeah, I can't take credit for this. I think it was a collective effort and something that we all try to be a part of. Things had started initially just off a conversation, just an opportunity for us to be, on a Zoom and really share our feelings and what's going on. We're not, in the U.S. We're here, but we're feeling strongly towards this because come to find out, which wasn't surprising at the same time, that we all have similar stories. We all have experiences that we shared and we felt like we needed to act on. So like Chris said, I think it was something that was really hesitated by a lot of people. And, whether it was, older guys or anybody in between, or the younger guys who might not have personally experienced some things, but also see the potential of those things maybe happening if change doesn't happen. So I think we came together well and presented it.
Gabe, CNN's Anderson Cooper spoke to basketball legend, NBA Hall of Famer Magic Johnson earlier, and Magic told CNN that racism has existed for hundreds of years in the U.S., and despite his celebrity status, he still reminded his sons about the dangers of being Black in America. How about you, Gabe and Chris? Were you guys ever threatened, or any of your family members or close friends threatened by a law enforcer?
Me personally, I've had two policemen point their guns at me during a traffic stop, and my light flashed between my eyes. So That was one of the instances. And then a really close family friend of mine was, he was a schizophrenic, and he was actually killed by the police. And I still talk to his sister. Whenever things come up like this, it happens. It happens so often, but only certain people get hashtags. Only certain people are made into national media and things like that. Some of them don't get out of their small town or their city or their state. There's only a select few that make national media. And it's just it's something that's close to me since I have encountered it, and also I have a close family friend that's been killed by the police.
Yeah, for me personally.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. No, I was just going to say, for me personally, I definitely had, personal run-ins, not to the extent of some of the stories that we shared personally from Chris's to other members, but I think there's not many people of color that wouldn't have some type of personal anecdote or aren't removed from it that far.
Well, Gabe, I know there's still a lot more to talk about, Chris and Gabe, but thank you for joining us. Unfortunately, we're pressed for time, but again, thank you for sharing how you guys felt and for that strong message and stand on social media. Wishing you both well. Stay safe. Thank you again for joining us, Gabe Norwood and Chris Ross. Thank you. Pia, back to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tandre.